Darkness had fallen upon the sprawling coffee plantation. A lone figure stood silhouetted against the moonlit sky. Once he had ruled this land, a kingdom built on caffeine and ambition. Now, only the bitter scent of regret lingered. This is gonna blow your mind. Welcome to Sip and Tell Coffee Tales. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Our story begins many years ago, in a world on the cusp of a coffee revolution. The man at the center of it all was a young entrepreneur, driven by a thirst for success that was as strong as his love for a good cup of coffee. Little did he know his journey would be a roller coaster of triumph and tragedy, a cautionary tale brewed in the heart of the coffee industry. This is the story of ambition, of the intoxicating aroma of success and the bitter aftertaste of downfall. This is the story of the Coffee King. His name, whispered in hushed tones by industry insiders and shouted from the rooftops by admirers, was Edward. Edward's story began not in some opulent boardroom, but amidst the humble grind of a small, family-run coffee shop. From a young age, he displayed a keen business acumen, a natural instinct for the delicate dance of supply and demand. He would spend hours observing his father, a hard-working man with calloused hands and a heart as warm as a freshly brewed cup. Edward absorbed everything from the art of roasting beans to perfection to the subtle nuances of customer service. He learned the language of coffee, the way it could invigorate the soul and bring people together. But Edward was not content with simply maintaining the family business. He had bigger dreams, grand visions of sharing his passion for coffee with the world. He envisioned a coffee empire, a global brand built on quality, innovation, and a deep respect for the bean. With unwavering determination, Edward transformed his father's humble shop into a local sensation. It wasn't an easy journey, but Edward's passion for coffee and his relentless drive to succeed kept him going through the toughest times. His secret, a unique blend of beans roasted to perfection and infused with an undeniable passion. Edward spent countless hours experimenting with different roasting techniques, searching for that perfect balance of flavor and aroma. The aroma alone was enough to draw in customers from miles around. It was a scent that promised warmth, comfort, and a moment of bliss in every cup. Word of mouth spread like wildfire, and soon lines snaked down the street, eager patrons buzzing with anticipation. People would wait for hours just to get a taste of Edward's magical brew. Edward, ever the astute businessman, recognized the potential of his success. He meticulously analyzed financial reports, always looking for ways to improve and expand his business. He expanded rapidly, opening new shops, each one more impressive than the last. Every new location was a testament to his vision and hard work, designed to offer the perfect coffee experience. His brand, with its distinctive logo of a steaming cup and crown, became synonymous with quality and sophistication. It was a symbol that coffee lovers everywhere came to trust and admire. Edward, the once humble barista, was now the Coffee King, his reign built on a mountain of mocha and the unwavering loyalty of his customers. His journey from a small-town barista to a coffee mogul was nothing short of inspirational. He wasn't just selling coffee, he was selling an experience, a lifestyle. Each cup was a promise of quality, a moment of joy in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. His cafes became community hubs, places where people could connect over a shared love of a good brew. They were more than just coffee shops. They were places where friendships were forged and memories were made. Edward, with his infectious enthusiasm and genuine passion for his craft, became an icon, his face gracing the covers of business magazines and his story inspiring a new generation of entrepreneurs. His success was a testament to the power of hard work, dedication, and a love for what you do. He often spoke at business conferences, sharing his journey and the lessons he learned along the way. His words resonated with aspiring entrepreneurs, encouraging them to pursue their dreams with the same fervor and determination. Edward's influence extended beyond his own cafes. He inspired a new wave of baristas and coffee enthusiasts, each one striving to create the perfect cup of coffee, just as he had. Today, Edward's legacy lives on in every cup of coffee served in his cafes. His story is a reminder that with passion, perseverance, and a little bit of magic, anything is possible. Success, however, can be a fickle mistress. It can lift you to unimaginable heights, but it can also bring you crashing down if you lose sight of what truly matters. As Edward's empire grew, so too did the pressure to maintain his meteoric rise. The demands of the business world are relentless, and Edward found himself constantly chasing the next big opportunity, the next market to conquer. He became obsessed with expansion, with conquering new markets and solidifying his position at the top. Every waking moment was consumed by thoughts of growth and dominance, leaving little room for anything else. In his relentless pursuit of growth, he began to neglect the very foundations upon which his success was built: quality, sustainability, and the well-being of his employees. The core values that had once set his company apart were now being overshadowed by his insatiable ambition. Whispers of discontent began to circulate. The once harmonious relationships with suppliers and farmers started to fray as Edward's demands grew more unreasonable. Farmers who supplied Edward's beans complained of unfair prices and unsustainable practices. They felt exploited and undervalued, their hard work and dedication seemingly taken for granted. Employees, once energized by Edward's passion, felt overworked and undervalued. The long hours and high expectations began to take a toll on their morale, and the once vibrant workplace atmosphere grew increasingly tense. The once unwavering loyalty of his customers began to waver, replaced by a growing sense of unease. They noticed the decline in product quality and the shift in the company's values, and they began to question their allegiance to the brand. The Coffee King, blinded by his own ambition, seemed oblivious to the cracks appearing in his carefully constructed facade. He was so focused on his vision of success that he failed to see the warning signs all around him. He dismissed the concerns as the inevitable grumblings of a growing business, failing to realize that he was slowly but surely alienating the very people who had helped him build his empire. His once loyal supporters felt increasingly marginalized and unheard. The stage was set for a dramatic fall from grace, a bitter lesson in the perils of unchecked ambition. Edward's journey, once a tale of triumph and innovation, was now on the brink of becoming a cautionary story about the dangers of losing sight of one's core values in the relentless pursuit of success. The storm broke on a day that began like any other, with the tantalizing aroma of roasting coffee beans filling the air. The rich, earthy scent wafted through the streets, promising warmth and comfort to all who passed by. It was a familiar, almost nostalgic smell that had become synonymous with Edward's coffee, a brand that had woven itself into the fabric of daily life for so many. But beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic scene, trouble was brewing. A whistleblower, a disgruntled former employee, released a damning expose revealing the dark underbelly of Edward's coffee empire. This wasn't just any employee, it was someone who had been deeply embedded in the company's operations, someone who knew its secrets. The allegations were shocking: exploitation of coffee farmers, unethical labor practices, and a blatant disregard for environmental sustainability. The expose detailed how farmers were paid meager wages, forced to work in deplorable conditions, and how vast swathes of rainforest were being destroyed to make way for coffee plantations. The very foundation of Edward's success was built on the suffering of others. The public outcry was immediate and fierce. People who had once been loyal customers felt betrayed. They took to the streets, their voices rising in unison against the injustices they had learned about. Social media platforms buzzed with indignation as users shared the expose and their own stories of disillusionment. Social media erupted with calls for boycotts, protests were staged outside Edward's cafes, and his carefully crafted image crumbled faster than a stale biscotti. Hashtags like #BoycottEdwards and #CoffeeCorruption trended worldwide, amplifying the scandal to every corner of the globe. The once beloved brand was now a symbol of corporate malfeasance. The Coffee King, once hailed as a visionary, was now vilified as a greedy exploiter, his name synonymous with corporate greed and hypocrisy. The fall from grace was swift and brutal. Edward, who had once been the darling of the coffee world, was now its most reviled figure. Edward, caught completely off guard, seemed paralyzed by the swiftness and ferocity of the backlash. He had always prided himself on his ability to navigate the complexities of the business world, but this was unlike anything he had ever faced. The sheer volume of anger and disappointment was overwhelming. He released a series of PR-crafted statements, but they rang hollow in the ears of a public that had once adored him. Each statement was dissected and criticized, seen as nothing more than empty words from a man desperate to save his empire. The trust that had taken years to build was shattered in an instant. His attempts to defend himself only seemed to make matters worse, further fueling the flames of outrage. Every move he made was scrutinized, every word he spoke was met with skepticism. The more he tried to explain, the deeper he seemed to sink into the quagmire of public opinion. The scandal had taken on a life of its own, and there was no escaping its reach.